My mother wants to wear white to my wedding. I want to dive into beauty treatments that I've seen all over social media. She erased us from her wedding, so I'm erasing her from mine. A lot of people go in once a week for a lymphatic drainage massage. And I think a lot of people forget that when they leave their family home to start a family with you, that you are now their direct family, because they really feel the benefits. And what she doesn't know is that the videographer has a secret mission. Welcome to Wedding Wednesday, the podcast that's about to spill all the tea on what it's like to plan a wedding from the bride's perspective and all the details no one talks about. I'm creating the podcast I need to keep me sane and feeling less alone as I plan my own wedding. We're diving deep into the hilarious, messy, and sometimes crazy world of wedding planning and wedding horror stories. Get ready to laugh, cry, and maybe feel a little less alone in this wedding planning madness. Hello. Welcome back to Wedding Wednesday. My name is Adriana, and today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you my wedding planning update, all in regards to choosing my theme, talking about save the dates and things like that. We're also going to dive into a few beauty treatments that I've seen just on social media that brides-to-be do leading up to their wedding. So I thought I'd share them with you today. And of course, we're also going to dive into some Reddit horror stories, where one in particular has the mother of a groom wanting to wear white to their wedding. So with that, let's dive into our episode. Okay, wedding planning update for you. We have done our save the dates. We are 99% completed with our save the dates. I am so excited about what we decided to do for our save the dates. I think by the time this episode goes out, they will have gone out. But I will save exactly what we did for our save the dates for the next wedding planning update. It's really unique and creative, at least I think it is. And so I think it'll give you some inspiration as to what you can do for your save the dates too, if you're interested in something fun and unique as opposed to just sending out like a simple PDF. So that's really cool. With sending out the save the dates, I also want to send some sort of PDF, which triggered me to go down the rabbit hole of figuring out what theme I want for our wedding. The theme is like choosing the colors, the accent colors. We're focused on the logo, like finding a logo. We're focused on kind of like the vibes of the wedding. So I'm finally starting to put all that together. And the only thing that really triggered me to like sit and like choose a color was literally sending out my save the dates, because I want my save the date PDF to be consistent with my wedding invitation, like branding and things like that. And so because I want that to be consistent, I also want to make sure that like I'm sending out the stationery that include the colors that we're going to choose for our wedding decor. So all that triggered me to like really go down a deep rabbit hole of what I want as the theme. As I was looking through what I want as the theme, I go straight to Pinterest. I love Pinterest specifically for wedding stuff. And I've really trained my algorithm to send me pretty much only wedding stuff on there, pretty much, like honestly. And so Pinterest is recommending me a multitude of different themes. And I was finding myself pinning over and over and over a specific kind of vibe of theme. And what I really like about this theme is that it's also quite consistent with our wedding venue. Originally, I wanted a totally different theme. And when it came to discover, I wanted a candlelit theme. I wanted to have the entire venue be full of candles. I think the pictures are so nice when all you see are candles everywhere. But as we were starting to venue shop, a lot of the venue, coordinators were showing us the venues and kind of guiding us on the theme and like advising us to actually stay away from the candles completely, like to have so many candles. Like one of the guys said, like, if you have like 1,500 candles, it gets really hot in the room. You can have a few candles on every table. I think it's nice, they were saying, but we really don't recommend you have like 1,500 candles across your entire wedding, because it gets too hot. And we're having a summer wedding, and because it's already going to be hot, we definitely didn't want to add to that heat. So we decided to put that theme aside, and I was trying to figure out like, okay, what are other themes I really liked? I really liked like the barn themes with like eucalyptus and like things like that, but our venue is not a barn at all, or like it's not that vibe at all. It's not rustic at all. So that theme wasn't really working. And then it led me to stumbling upon another theme that I was really enjoying seeing that I've seen across social media. A few influencers have used it. And for now, I'm going to keep my theme to myself because like I said, our save the dates are 99% done. But until we really pull the trigger on deciding what theme 100% that we want, I'm going to save it. But at least it got me to where I'm at now. So I'm really happy that I've pretty much chosen my accent colors. I've pretty much chosen our branding. I've pretty much chosen our logo, and I've pretty much completed our save the day. So that's really, really exciting there. The next thing that this has led me down the rabbit hole of is florals. I am still considering doing DIY florals to an extent. I think I'm going to have a florist help me with some things, and then I think I'm going to do some things by myself. But what I've done so far with DIY florals to like get the ball rolling on figuring out whether or not I want to do this is I've reached out to some floral wholesalers. So everybody knows, at least like if you don't know, you can get a bunch of wedding florals from Costco. So I know that's always an option for me. If I need to go to Costco and get a bunch of flowers, I know I can go there. But I had somebody recommend me a few wholesalers that sell flowers to florists, and for a fraction, literally so much less than the price of a flower at a florist. So I'm starting to explore that option. What I've done so far is that I've reached out to them, 2 of them, and I've asked if I can come visit, if they're open to visitors. Both of them said yes, but I have to have a company. So if you know somebody who has a business and they're willing to reach out for you, or you can reach out to those wholesaler florists and kind of give somebody's business like to that florist to kind of say, hey, it's under our business. So then they're comfortable selling to that business. That's kind of like a hack for you if you want to do wholesale flowers, if you want to buy wholesale flowers to do your own florals. That's kind of what I've been doing here. And some of them asked me how many events I do a year. I just said I do 3 a year. And that was all it was. That was like kind of like the minimum for them to be happy to help me out. So that was like step 1, was figuring out like how to get into these wholesalers. Step 2 will be now to go look at the actual flowers they offer and to actually see the pricing of everything that they have, to compare that with like regular florists and compare that with Costco flowers too. So I'm going next week to go see a few of those wholesale flowers to see what I like, what's the vibe, like what does it look like? And then from there, it'll help me decide whether or not I want to do DIY florals. I also started to send out quotes or requests for quotes from florists to also compare what is it going to look like to get florals done directly with florists. So I've reached out to florists as like one category, but I've also reached out to decor companies. These decor companies, a lot of them have fake florals that they can set up for you at specific parts of your venue. I do think that it's worth potentially the price difference to hire somebody to do fake florals for you for specific things in your venue, but not necessarily for everything. So for example, I'm considering having fake florals at the church, and I'm considering having fake florals to decorate like the sweetheart table, the honor table, the seating chart, things like that. I'm considering having real flowers as the centerpieces on every table as well. So I'm going to see if I can find a more cost-efficient way to do florals by having a little bit DIY, a little bit of real flowers from a wholesaler, a little bit of fake flowers from a decor store, to start piecing together my designs and what I want for my theme. So that's pretty much my entire wedding planning update. Oh, I forgot one thing. I also booked some appointments for dresses. So now we're at the point where I'm ready to start looking for wedding dresses. So I've gone ahead and I've booked like 5 or 6 appointments across the next few months, because I'm somebody who's pretty difficult to have I think I have a specific vision in mind of what I want to look like on my wedding day. And I don't know if every shop that I booked an appointment at will have that type of dress. So I want to give myself the chance to look, to explore, and I don't want to limit myself to just one store. So that's really exciting. I'm going to be trying on wedding dresses. My first appointment is on Saturday, so literally in 3 days. And what's really, really fun actually is that I get to share this experience with my mom and my sister. So the 3 of us are going to go together. My sister's also going to try dresses at the same time. It's all of our first times together going to a bridal dress store. And so we're pretty excited for that. So that's my wedding planning update. If you need any help actually planning your wedding or figuring out what tasks you have to do in which order, I have a digital wedding planning template that you can download. I'll put the link in the description box below. And of course, I also give our podcast listeners a special discount code as a little thank you for watching our podcast. I want to dive into beauty treatments that I've seen all over social media, that I'm considering doing some, that other people I've heard are doing, that I think you might consider as well for your beauty routine leading up to your wedding. So the first one that I've seen that I'm actually genuinely very intrigued by is PRP. And what that is that they take blood with a syringe from like somewhere in your body. I don't really know from where or how, but they take blood and they basically inject it back under your under eyes to kind of fill up your under eyes to make it seem as though you don't have those under eye bags. As we age, we obviously have bigger and bigger bags. And so PRP can help with those, just like making everything look more smooth and a bit more youthful. I'm very intrigued by this. I'm not super bothered by my under eye bags, but I am intrigued by it nonetheless. I haven't looked at what it costs, what are the downtimes, what are anything in regards to that, but it's something that I probably will look into just by curiosity, probably a year before my wedding, to see whether or not I want to try it out or not. With any of these beauty treatments, I definitely suggest that if you're going to do one of them, to do them well before your wedding so that you know how your skin reacts or whether or not it's a right fit for you. The last thing you want to do is something leading up to your wedding and it look not as good as you're anticipating. So that's the first treatment. The second treatment that I've heard loads of, a lot of brides are doing this, like 4 months leading up to the wedding, every month, brides are seemingly going to get Hydrafacials. And I think the benefit of a Hydrafacial is really that it's hydrating your skin. Because it hydrates your skin, you look more youthful. The skin, the makeup applies a lot more easily on your skin. There's a lot of benefits to a Hydrafacial. I've personally never done a Hydrafacial, but I'm also very intrigued by this treatment. And it's something that I will also consider again. Probably will experiment with that like around 9 months before my wedding, just to see whether or not my skin likes it, if it's the right fit for me, if it fits within my beauty treatment regime and things like that. So Hydrafacial is a really cool one too. I want to have a lymphatic drainage specialist on this podcast, and hopefully I will have one in the next few episodes. But as I was speaking to a few lymphatic drainage specialists, they were all saying that a lot of people go in once a week for a lymphatic drainage massage because they really feel the benefits and they really see the difference in their inflammation when they go weekly. I am very intrigued by this too. I've been doing a few lymphatic drainage routines just at home myself. Think of things like the vibration plate, like just standing on the vibration plate and it like stimulates your entire lymphatic system. I've been doing things like dry brushing once in a while. I do gua sha as well. So those are like a few lymphatic drainage things that you can do just at home. If you want to take it up a notch, a lymphatic drainage massage consistently once a week leading up to your wedding could actually also make a difference. Some people report feeling really sick after they get a lymphatic drainage massage. And sometimes that can kind of make sense that you get sick because it's literally stimulating your lymph nodes, your lymphatic system, and like moving everything along. And so it's taking all those toxins and trying to get it out of your body. And I feel as though as it's doing that, it kind of makes sense that it would like trigger you getting sick if like your system was kind of due to get sick. I'm not a doctor. I don't really know how this works. So definitely consult with your medical professionals. But all this to say is that a lymphatic drainage massage also really intrigues me. People are doing it once a week leading up to their wedding. And it's something that I will also explore eventually closer to my wedding. The next beauty treatment that a lot of people are doing are getting hair extensions. I'm also intrigued by this ever since we had our hair extension specialist, Mel from Extensions MTL, on our podcast. I'll link that episode in the description box below if you haven't seen it. But she gave really great tips on how to leverage hair extensions for your bridal hair. She also told me they're pretty much non-negotiables for most wedding hair styles because most people just don't have enough hair to make a hairstyle that's like grandiose and like significant enough for the wedding. If you're blessed with beautiful, thick, long hair, you obviously don't need hair extensions, but I'm blessed with thin hair. And so because of that, I'm also exploring the hair extensions avenue. I don't know whether or not I'm going to do a more permanent solution or just clip-ins, but hair extensions are something that a lot of people are playing with leading up to their wedding. I do have a hair trial coming up, and I will definitely be playing with those hair extensions at my hair trial. And I think everybody who's getting married should consider doing this too. My sister ended up getting some hair extensions from Amazon just literally to experiment with. And I think it's a very, very good idea if you're considering hair extensions for your bridal hair on your wedding day. The next beauty treatment a lot of people are doing are just whitening their teeth. They're going to the dentist, they're getting their teeth whitened, they're getting their teeth maybe like fixed up. If like there's any chips, they can like shave that off or like add a piece to the tooth if anything's like super apparent. Fixing your teeth or like just making sure it's like they're nice and white is a really good beauty treatment that a lot of people are doing. That's something I'm for sure going to be doing leading up to my wedding. I definitely want to have like nice pearly whites and a really nice smile. So I don't plan on going down the avenue of veneers or anything more permanent like that. That's not really as intriguing to me personally. Some people choose to do that. Again, I don't think I would do that leading up to my wedding just because if you don't like the way your teeth look in pictures after that, you can't really undo it. It's a lot harder to undo. I've heard they're a lot less permanent than they used to be, where they don't shave down your entire tooth underneath. But this is a question that you would have to ask your dentist if you like completely want to revamp your smile. Personally, I like the option of just whitening and maybe like shaving down any chips, calling it a day, and like leaving it with that. So that's another beauty treatment a lot of brides-to-be are considering. The next one are manicures. So there's so many different types of manicures. A lot of brides-to-be are going to the salon and trying different colors of style, different colors of nails, or trying different types of nail application techniques. You know, you've got acrylic, you've got hard gel, you've got classic shellac, you've obviously got nail polish, but a lot of people are leaning towards Russian manicures. And I believe Russian manicures are gel to some extent, like a type of gel, but they do really, really solid cuticle work. Like they're really working the cuticle to make sure it kind of like doesn't get in the way of your nails lasting longer. So I've never done a Russian manicure before. To be honest with you, I don't think it's something I'm going to be exploring for my wedding. I think I'm going to be sticking to good old shellac or maybe hard gel. Hard gel on my nails tends to last at least 3 weeks. So that might be something I do. But I've heard Russian manicures are really good. A lot of people who do them like them, and it could be a type of nail style or application that you consider for your wedding too. The next one is spray tans. A lot of people do spray tans so they look nice and tan in their pictures for their wedding. I don't know if I will do this. I've never gotten a spray tan before. It's something that if I choose to do this, I'm definitely going to have to try well before my wedding to see if I even like it, for one. And for two, you have to find a spray tan specialist who you also find is good. Not everybody has a really good application. And so the last thing you want is a bad spray tan on your wedding day. If you're going to do a spray tan, you want to make sure, again, you're doing it well in advance to make sure you don't have a reaction. You like the color, you like the tint, and you like the application. Really, really important when it comes to spray tans. Because my wedding is later in the summertime, I'm considering more so just laying in the sun, honestly. I know it's not great for you, but I think I'm willing to make an exception for my wedding. And so like that, I can get still that tan, but it looks more natural, and I don't have to like put in the legwork to find a spray tan specialist that I really like. The last thing a lot of people are considering for their wedding is doing lash extensions. I for sure will be doing lash extensions. My sister is a lash tech in Montreal. If anybody is interested in getting their lashes done, she's actually very, very good. Her lashes stay on forever. So I will put her stuff in the description box too. But I love my lash extensions. I get them put on probably around the holidays and always around the summertime too. And then I take a break in between. But definitely really fun beauty treatment. This is the type of beauty treatment though that you have to test before your wedding, like well before, because a lot of people actually react to it. A lot of people are allergic to sometimes the glue. So if you're considering lash extensions for your wedding, definitely test it well before. I will definitely be doing this, and I'm looking forward to getting my lashes put back on actually leading up to this summer too. I'll tell you, my sister herself is actually allergic to the glue, and she found a different glue for her where she doesn't react. So sometimes if you react to one type of glue, there might be something that you can do you can speak to your lash tech and see like if they recommend something else that you could do to make sure you don't react, or if there's maybe an allergy medicine you could take to help like mitigate any reactions. So something to consider there. As always, we also have really fun Reddit horror stories. I cannot wait to read you some of these today because they are juicy like always. Random people my fiance and I both don't know showing up to our wedding. Apparently this is quite common. My fiance and I are getting married in Vegas this month. We had a 14-month long engagement with save the dates sent out in June and invitations sent out in January. RSVPs were due at the beginning of April. Tell me why my fiance's longtime family friend, basically his uncle/godfather, called him months ago after our RSVP deadline, telling him not asking for us to send out invitations to some of his family members that live in Vegas to attend our wedding. Keep in mind, these people are not related to my fiance in any way. He has never met them. We don't even know their names. It's now 3 weeks from our wedding and I need to make a seating chart. We haven't heard from these people if they are coming, don't even know who the heck they are, and I'm running out of time to get a seating chart ordered, created, and delivered. I'm freaking out. I asked my fiance again last night if these people were coming and what their names are. He says he doesn't know and, quote, not to worry about it. We may just have to make a last minute seating chart. Sir, I don't think you understand how uncrafty I am and how terrible that will look. Now I'm stuck with the dilemma of ordering the seating chart without the names of these people that I don't know that may or may not show up to my wedding. Is that rude? Maybe, but I feel like it's less rude than asking a couple to add your family members to their wedding guest list after their RSVP deadline has already passed. Watch them actually show up and there's no place for them to sit, or they have to find a random table to squeeze in. If you have to introduce yourself to me and my fiance at our wedding, get a free meal, cake, etc., then you won't mind not having a place card. A lot of people said a few different things in response to this, so let's read. Someone said, no is a complete sentence. No one can demand you add extra people to your wedding. Why did you cave? I'm sorry, uncle. We don't know these people and will not be inviting them. If they show up, there will not be seats or meals for them, and they won't be admitted. Perhaps you can visit with them another time. The OP responded back to that and said, oh, I didn't. I was told about this phone call after it had already been discussed and my fiance had sent out the invitation to these people. My input before this decision was made was not considered. Oof. That sucks when your fiance makes a decision like that without consulting you when it comes to an event that's like really about both of you. Someone else said, have a table for the uncle and his guests alone together. That way the seating chart can be published with Billy, Bob, and guests on that table. If none of his guests show up, he'll be at that table by himself. So be it. Somebody responded to that and said, this is what I do, or leave that table off the seating chart entirely just to have an extra table at the back, maybe partial view for them if they decide to show up. Somebody responded to that and said, significant other has already demonstrated that he hasn't a clue how to handle it and can be relied on. It's so true. Someone else said, I would reach out to the uncle myself and shut that ish down. Your soon-to-be husband is being a wet towel. Very true. If this was my situation, I would also tell my fiance respectfully that you're not adding them on the seating chart, and he can tell his uncle that if he wants to or not. But at the end of the day, if they show up and their name is not on the list, they'll be escorted out or kindly asked to leave, and that'll be that. This next story goes, my mother wants to wear white to my wedding. My groom mother is a tricky one. When she asked what colors she should wear to my upcoming wedding, I just said avoid white and light blue. That's the bridesmaid's color. She has gone and bought a white dress with some line work light blue floral print on it. I haven't actually seen it, just heard the description. So I asked her if she could send me a pic of it. After a day of leaving me on red, she replied with, quote, no, that's not appropriate for you to ask me. She then stopped responding to my texts. I then messaged my dad and he wouldn't send me a picture of it, but he pointed me in the direction of a photo of a jacket with similar color makeup. I responded saying it was far too white for anyone, let alone the mother of the groom, to wear to a wedding. I then sent a bunch of articles that discuss white printed dresses at weddings and what is and isn't appropriate. He responded with agreement and that he now understands it's inappropriate, but my mom is stressed out at work, so I might have to accept that she will wear it regardless. I'm absolutely fuming that they're willing to put me and my fiance's feelings above hers for this one day in my life. Somebody responded the following. Obviously, I don't know your mom, but considering she, 1, had clear guidance from you on what not to wear, 2, had millions of options but purposefully chose something that broke both of the simple rules you gave her, and 3, won't talk to you about it, tells me she has done this with an agenda to hurt your fiance and or make some kind of point at the wedding. When you choose to marry someone, you're choosing to put them first in your life. If you don't put your foot down about this and let your mother's antics come before your fiance's feelings, you're starting your marriage off in a bad way. You either need to call her, leave a voicemail, or better yet, send a video message making it clear. She is not wearing that dress. She is not wearing those colors. And if she does, she will not be allowed to attend the wedding. She can either be a supportive mother of the groom and new mother-in-law, or she cannot attend. No ifs, ands, or buts. Tell her the staff of the venue will be told to deny entry to her if she breaks the very simple, respectful, easy to follow rules you have made on her attire. Somebody responded back to this and said, 100% agree. This is about you and your fiance. Letting her get away with this will just mean she will continue to act this way and eventually ruin your marriage. This is so true. A lot of in-laws ruin marriages and it's really sad. Someone else responded saying, my mother-in-law pulled something similar and it meant the world to me that my fiance told me he would get into it with her if I wanted. Ultimately, I made the choice not to because we were drawing boundaries in a lot of places and I wanted to be strategic. And I know several people cringed at how her dress looked like mine. OP, if you see this, get on the same page with your fiance now. You're going to be a team. And if your mom is this kind of difficult, you're going to need to stand together to hold the line. On the plus side, 7 years post these shenanigans, my mother-in-law is now mostly well-behaved. And when she isn't, I know my husband isn't tolerating her BS. I love this. This is like really nice to see when your fiance like takes your side and like stands up for you. And I think a lot of people forget that when they leave their family home to start a family with you or a life with you, that you are now their direct family. You are no longer, your parents are no longer your direct family when you get married. And a lot of sometimes people don't realize that when they get married, that you now become a new unit and your unit is now number one, not your family. So it's nice to see some fiancés like really do value that and see that. Really crazy. This last story for today goes, she erased us from her wedding, so I'm erasing her from mine. Let's read. When my brother got married, his bride, now my sister-in-law, had very specific expectations. She wanted everyone in the family to wear their wedding colors, and we all did. People flew in from out of town and out of state. Everyone made an effort to make her feel celebrated. The day before the wedding, she made some offhanded but clearly pointed remarks about how our side of the family never takes anything seriously, and she wasn't expecting us to take this seriously either. The comments made their rounds and feelings were hurt before the wedding even began. But we still showed up, looked great, and participated. Fast forward to getting the wedding photos and videos. Not a single photo of our side of the family was posted. Not one. In the entire 3-minute highlight reel. No faces from our family except a 3-second clip of my parents with the bride and groom. The rest of us, it's like we never existed. I texted her cordially and asked if she could send me the pictures with just our siblings since none had been posted. She responded that we never took those pictures. That's wild because I remember helping people adjust corsages for them. She doubled down on the gaslighting. I gave it 6 months and asked again. She suddenly had no idea what I was talking about. Here's where the petty revenge comes in. I'm getting married in 8 days. I've been engaged for 6 months and planning this moment since she tried to erase us. I hired a great photographer and videographer. What she doesn't know is that the videographer has a secret mission. Make it look like she's getting all the attention. Track her. Hover near her like she's the star of the show. She will feel so seen. And then, the final cut, she won't appear for even 1 second. Just like she made sure we didn't. I didn't even invite her originally. Word must have gotten out because she cornered me at a family dinner and said, quote, unfortunately, I have to work the day before and after your wedding, but I should still be able to make it. I was so stunned, I just said, that's fine. The Airbnb is booked whether you're there or not. So now she's coming. Ugh. To cope, I spelled her name wrong on the wedding invite on purpose. That was my first move. The video blackout will be my last. Not asking for advice, not asking if it's, quote, too mean. It's not. It's exactly fair. Happy to finally talk about it freely. Edit. The wedding was absolutely beautiful and I didn't have to think about this all day. We've been living on the love high that comes with the wedding and forgot about anything until the YouTube remakes reminded me. Our videographer was given verbal instructions beforehand and made sure to know who my sister-in-law was. As our sneak peek clips have been given back to us, I have yet to see her in any of the footage. Our videographer told us they had over 200 gigabytes of raw footage, so sister-in-law will definitely be in some footage on a hard drive somewhere. But she definitely will not end up in any of our Instagram highlights. We'll see about the final video. I definitely didn't think this would blow up like it did. Originally, I only shared this with 3 girls in book club. Thank you all for coming on this petty revenge journey with me. Let's see what people say. Somebody responded and said, for the love of all that is petty, update me. Someone else said, actually, you just instruct the photographer to take unglamorous photographs of her, like her eyes are closed or weird facial expressions, and just posted it on social media. If she complains, you can tell her, quote, well, at least everyone is in my wedding photos. Someone else responded to that and said, better than petty revenge, loss of eyes shut, mouth open, double chin pics at awkward angles. If you have a crazy wedding horror story to share with us, feel free to email it at hello@weddingwednesdaypod.com. We read them completely anonymously and always love to share a crazy horror story when it comes to a wedding. Of course, if you enjoyed today's episode, please rate, review, subscribe, do all the things because it really does help our podcast to grow. And with that, I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.